Kevin, do you have the other GitHub account ready?
Okay, let me just set it up right
Yeah.
now, and
Okay.
then
So
I
let
give
why
you,
why I'm
okay.
pre- why I'm presenting task 1 and 2, just be preparing the other GitHub account. So
Yeah, sure,
maybe
sure. Okay,
it will
yeah,
show you
it will be ready.
you definitely fork it and clone it locally. Then we just do all that live and maybe do task 3. I think task 3 is where the challenge really comes in to create the files, to add the code to the file, and from there we then take questions. So I'll
Sure.
just okay. Anyway, so basically this is the main directory that we are working from. This is the main repo that we are working from. As you can see, this is a folder that someone created and uploaded for the 5 tasks. So when I saw this today, I I accepted the request, the pull request, and merge it because I wanted to show you guys. Um, we have instructions, how to contribute everything on this challenge, and we know not everybody really follows instructions, but that's one of the skills we are learning here, how to follow instructions. If we give instructions and you follow them keenly, you'll be able to do this challenge perfectly without a lot of problems. I know Git has its own trouble. Sometimes you do your pull requests, you do commits, it's having issues. But when you're solving those issues, you get more used to, you understand Git more. So those issues will always be there, and it really helps you to understand things. But when there are instructions too, you have to learn how to follow those instructions. Normally, no one had to create a folder, but this person did create a folder and send it as did a pull request. And once you do that, if I accept the pull request, it's definitely going to be like this. And when others now will come in, they'll be very, very much confused. I think on the 4th day, someone too did that, and I saw comments on the WhatsApp group like they are not understanding how we are structuring the projects. Some of those folders is because when we accept some of the pull requests, like if I open the pull requests, if I don't really detailedly understand the files that you have changed and everything, I just accept, then you will have issues like this. And bet you me, today I had about 40 pull requests that I had not yet answered, I had not yet responded to because of work these past days. So I have to go through all those files. I had to read them, what you're committed, and make sure that you're committing you're doing the pull request in the right direction. And to do all that too is not easy on our side. And so when we really give instructions, it helps you guys to easily submit, and it also helps us to easily manage the projects. So folder like this are definitely motivating. So when others come in, they can easily see the project. They can see the project fresh. So I had already deleted. I had already done it on my command line. Deleted that folder. That's why you are not seeing it anymore. So day 1 basically was for you guys to learn more about Terraform, the benefits and everything. And for day 1, we had to commit everything on a particular file, which that gave us a lot of troubles, and we had to change it to everyone now creating their own files, of which this has really saved us a lot of time. And as you can see, not everyone still have committed day 1. So, and that's why one of the reasons why we are having these sessions, to know exactly why, or the problems that you guys are facing, that will be we can address them here now. That will permit you to easily move ahead. So, but everything so far, people have been doing like you see the MD files, they are being created and they are submitted, even though some still uses the daily update file. This one that was created before, some are still using it. But for now, for day one, I don't know, does anyone have any issue with day one that we can address now before we go to day two? If you have any issue on day one challenge, just let us know so we address it now before we move on to day two. Okay. Take the silence as, let me check the chats. Kevin, if there's any question in the chat or any hand in the chat, just let me know.
Sure, I will do that. There's none currently.
Okay. So I believe everyone here is comfortable with day one, and you can see you just need to create this file. I think when we go to day three, with a new account, Kevin will demonstrate how we go about creating all these files, so you can see that. Yeah, day two is the same thing. Yeah, guys are doing great. Day one and day two, I think they have the most commit, most files created. So, but for some people that are not still following the naming, like this person, so far so good. And if you like, once you complete your task and we accept the pull request, you'll be able to see your name here and what you did. One thing that I just want to show you guys real quick that it's quite amazing is this part right here, these contributors. This is what we were actually looking for, because it's not every, like maybe you would like to contribute to an open source project, and it's not at every time that they'll give you access to open source projects to do the pull request or they accept you as a contributor. Sometimes it takes time, but with this project, you're at the same time you are learning, and at the same time you're a contributor. So all these things that you're doing here, it counts to the contributions you have made towards this project. So at the end of this is also your project. Like this challenge is also your project. You can present this like, this is what I did for this project. This is like this project, this challenge was organized like this, and these are the contributions I've made. And you can use this repository as, put it as a reference in your CV, like this, I contributed to this project. And once they come to GitHub, they'll be able to see you as a contributor to this project. So that's one of the other, like one of the amazing aspects about contributing to, like doing your pull request, because you only become a contributor when you make a pull request and it's accepted. If you do a pull request and I don't accept it, you will not be a contributor to this project. So congrats to anybody that is seeing their faces. There are more people. There are 22 more people that their faces are not showing there. But if your face is showing, you are doing great. So oh God. So we're on day two. Yeah, so far so good. And yeah, day three. So us, let me see, I think it's this one. Okay. So actually, if we look at the let's go to the MD, the README for this. Okay. So for this, you had to focus on these sections, deploying a single server and deploying a web server of the book. That book do a lot of work to give you the codes. You can copy type it gives you
I don't know whether it's me or it's you're breaking. Hello, Chi. Are you speaking?
Hi, Chichi, your voice is breaking up badly.
Yeah, Chichi, I think we can't hear you. You are breaking.
Hello.
You are
Can you
breaking.
hear
I
me?
don't know. Yes. You are breaking off for like the last 1 minute, so we couldn't hear you. Hello. Okay, as Chi comes through again, Haman, I can see you're here. Maybe you can let us know something. You can share with us something that you've noticed as Chichi also comes through.
Hello, Kevin. I'm here, but
Hello, hi.
right now I'm not in a position of speaking because I'm traveling.
Okay.
I'm just following.
Okay. Understandable. Understood. Back to you, Chi. We couldn't hear you. You were breaking. But yeah, thank you. Back now.
So where did you lose me?
I think where you're explaining about you are about to go to the task, the task. I think the task, and you're saying you are going. Yeah, you are supposed to focus on this chapter. That is where we left it at. After that,
Okay.
you are breaking. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if you can cover this material, good. If you can cover this, good. For these activities is part of this. Once you read about deploying a web server, there's no way to practice it rather than deploying. So the activities are just like hands-on things that you'd have to do in order to master what you've learned in either the readings or in the videos. That's the reason for the activity. So for this, we ask you to use draw.io to at least curse the infrastructure, then before going ahead and implement it. And so the bonus there was if you can animate your diagram, your architectural diagram, that would be great. I saw some people doing that. And then the optional things like the blog posts and the social media posts, and maybe even the editing tutorial. And this is the specifics, how to submit your project. So when you go to each day, come to this section, like know how you're going to submit what you're doing that day. So for this one, we actually ask to create a branch and you create this file. And yeah, once you do that, you need to commit and do your pull request. So, but there was a glitch here. You had to embed your code into the into your MD file. You had to embed your Terraform code into the MD file. So I just wanted to show like what happened here. This person basically explained everything about Terraform provider, and yeah, it's his own way of like explaining to us what he did. But here I was expecting the code that you use to do your Terraform providers, or the code that you use in building your infrastructure. And if you see here, like this is the code that he's trying to put here. So when you're doing this, and let's say you're trying to work on something, like maybe you don't know how to embed the code onto your provider, onto your MD file, you can reach out, like in the group, you can reach out to someone in the group, or you Google it, or you ChatGPT it. You can reach out there and get help. Because when I saw this, it was like, oh, this person did a lot, but you didn't do the right thing, but the person did quite a lot. So I think I wrote a comment, because for most of the posts, the pull requests, I always try to like leave a comment, so you see if there's something that I really need to address, or address it in your specific comment just for you. And so, but definitely they had to just, all you had to do here is provide us with your name, the time you're submitting this project, and then this code that he's embedding down here, this one, all these codes that he's putting here like this. This is the code we were expecting. So just your name and the code that you've written. That is how you have to submit this particular task. Okay. So let me see. There's one person that did quite a good job. I think it's this guy. So yeah, if you see what Eddie did, this was quite amazing. This is basically all what we wanted for you to do in task 3. Once you finish, you submit to us your code like this. So if you come to the code section, you see how you embed the code of your Terraform code into your MD file. So when you're done with task 3, this is basically the file that you had to create and submit. And for the rest of the other tasks, like task 4, it's the same thing that you had to, once you go through it, you submit the file. And I discovered that if you want to submit the image of your infrastructure with us, I think we didn't address that. You're already learning how to use S3 buckets. You can upload that image to S3 buckets and make it public. Then you send us the link. You attach the link to your daily update file. So when you open, we are able to see the link and see the infrastructure that you have written. I think one person tried doing that, but the person used Google Drive. When I try accessing the image, it was not working. So, but for Kelvin, I think Kelvin uploaded the image inside this file, inside this same directory. If you see this vpc.ng, it's because Kevin uploaded the image here, and that's why it's visible here. So for this method, I think this is not a recommended method, because if we have a lot of images here, this folder will be so big, and I'm seeing people are already having a lot of problems with files being too large. So if we make this repo too large, it will not be easy for you to work with locally. So, but try to upload the images to S3 buckets and make it public. Then you can share the link with us. I think, Kevin, what do you think about that?
I agree. I totally agree with you. And yes, since you are learning about AWS, so when you have a public bucket, and I think you can embed it using Markdown. You can put the URL to the image and it will render for anyone. And I think that is what you should do going forward. But I was really concerned that not many people are doing architectures. I don't know why. That is where you could see.
Well, maybe they are going to tell us. Maybe we need to do a specific class just to create architectures, maybe, but they're going to tell us why we are not seeing their architectures. From day 4 now, that's when the submissions dropped a lot, like from day 4 downward. I don't know, is it like the task got so much, or it was so difficult and we just had few people? So start from day 4 to day 8, very few people are submitting. So well, we'll definitely find out later. But for day 4, let me see. The 4 task was to work with,
I think also those those 3 people who submitted, they submitted it wrongly. They should have submitted it inside the submissions folder. So maybe having more there. Yeah, sure. But it's okay. Yeah.
So I want to. So day 4, I think we are rounding up with you're still doing the infrastructure. You're doing the web server now, and you're adding I think a load balancer, so it's highly available. You're adding the load balancer, adding a auto scaling group, all those things. You're doing the full infrastructure now for day 4. So, and it's still quite the same like day 3. Like I really like the task between day 3 and day 4. I think there were a lot of repetitions. If you read day 4 and read day 3, when you are reading day 4, you still go back to a lot of day 3 materials too, because that's like this part that we are doing for this first 2 weeks. It's like the core of Terraform. So there are so many things that you'll be going back and forth so you can master them. But for day 4 now, what we're trying to avoid was all this, like when you open, you are seeing day 3, Najim, day 3, Gaturu, you are seeing all this. What we are trying to avoid is all this is making the folder very cumbersome. And when someone just open it, the person is confused. So we want to streamline it. That is why we created the submissions folder. And this submissions folder is for everyone to fill in their projects. Like once you finish a project, you go now inside the submission folder and you submit inside, not like in the root of day 4. Now you have to go one directory down before you submit. This way, when someone opens it, it's very clean. You just see the README, the tasks, and submissions. So you know, okay, for me to submit, I need to go inside the submissions folder and submit my work. So from day 4 onwards, that's when this other idea came in to create the submissions folder, and we implemented it. And from then onwards, there's a submission folder inclusive in every project file. So I urge you guys, like when you're doing your submissions, ensure that you are always doing it in the submissions folder. So ensure that you're always doing it in the submissions folder. Even though afterwards, I'm still going to transfer all your files, like those out here that are not in the submissions folder. I'm going to move them into the submissions folder. But I encourage everyone, like once you're doing your submissions, place them in the folder so it's easy for any other person that has request, any other person that is coming new, or any other person that sees this project, or somebody that wants to browse through the project and see what we have been doing. It'll be easy for them to understand what is happening with the project. So Kevin, with that said, I think you can do the demonstration for the new account.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Chief, for very elaborate explanation of what our new thing, our like how, you know, as you already know, this is the first iteration of this 30-day challenge. So as much as we are also trying our best to, let's say, muted, or is that unmuted? Okay, let me mute that person. Okay, so as much as we are also trying to streamline things, if you're also having any ideas, we welcome them in terms of making the challenge a much better experience for you, and as well as a much better experience for those who are going to be taking it maybe for the second or the third iteration of the challenge, because we believe this is not going to be the first and the last one. So I think that is a good cue for me to now go directly to.
Yeah, before you start presenting, I think
okay, sure.
the suggestion, like I said before, this is an open project that we all are working on. And like you see, as we progress, we have more better ideas to structure things. So that's just how the project is built. If you have a suggestion, okay, rather than you guys doing this, I think if you do this, it will be much more better, it will be much more easier. So every idea is welcome and every feedback is welcome. Adesi, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, so I have a question on something that has been so it looks like, I don't know if it's from you people's end, there's a quiz announcement workflow that runs every time and sends me an email that the running failed. So I don't know if it was something that was created from your end by mistake or it's something we need to know about. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm the only person.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. It was an automation that I was trying to configure. I wanted it to be from the materials that we have, it generates some quiz and send it to the students. But I'm still finding it difficult to make that work. So I'm sorry that you guys are receiving that. I'm definitely going to stop it and do it on a trial account until it's working. So I'm sorry for that, but we were trying to see how we can do quiz for each day. So there should be a kind of quiz without using other platforms like Google Forms or the survey platforms to create quiz and send. We're trying to just do something automated only on GitHub, but it's not working for now. So just ignore it. I will see how to make the thing stop sending you emails, everyone emails. Yeah, Kevin, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Chi. So I think I'll maximize this. Okay. Let me just make sure I close some things here so that I maximize this. So let me share my screen. So I'm going to just make it very clear. So as you can see, this is a new GitHub account that I just created for the purposes of us looking at how things are. So by now, if you are having an account and it's ready up, and as you can see, I don't have any repositories on it. So I don't even have a repository space. You can see they're asking me to create a first project. So the first thing is I'll navigate to the challenge repo. I already have it here. This is the challenge repo. And if you have no idea, you can just search on GitHub. Like, for example, you can search, because it's a public repo, you can search 30-day Terraform. You can see the moment I did that, it already showed me, here it is. So I can just click on it. So once I am there, I don't want to confuse myself. So let me just close this one. So I can see the repo itself here, and I can see the main branch. As you can see, the main challenge repo doesn't have branches. You are the one creating branches on your end. So the first thing I need to do is fork. And for you to fork, you do it from this button here. So I'll just fork, because a fork is simply to make a copy of the same repo onto your own account so that you can work from it. But it still has a connection between itself and the repo from which it was forked from. So you can see the owner, I think and you can see if it had other branches, you can untick this and then it will copy all the branches. But right now, since it only has the main branch, you just leave it the way it is, then you create fork. So I believe no one had a challenge with creating a fork. So once you have your fork, always remember, day in, day out, let me just zoom this a bit here. Your two main buttons to consider anytime. Also, this the first space to check, is your branch up to date? Because I'm sure by tomorrow, when Chi updates day 9, or tonight or this evening or whichever time, this branch will stop being up to date. But since he hasn't done anything on the upstream, we call this the upstream, then that's why it is still up to date. Then again, if he merges any of your pull requests, then again, it will also not be up to date. So as usual, as you've already said, you're not supposed to work from this branch. Otherwise, you're going to get some challenges. You should use this main branch to create all the other branches. And then from that branch, you do your pull request directly to the main branch of the upstream. So I'll demonstrate that. So let's say I'm just starting this challenge today and I want to do day one. So I can just come to day one folder here. Since it will load the... Let me mute some people. You guys are making me want to put some restrictions, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, please stay muted. I don't want to force and remove people's permission to unmute, because I wanted this to be as interactive as possible. So check your mic every time. So once I'm here, day one, I can see there's so many good submissions. I think if I was starting together, I would see only the README and the task.md. So those are the two main files that you'll always find in any new day. So, and I think resources was also there, resources.md, the markdown. So those are the three. So what I see here, I'll be able to see it is introduction to Terraform. So I can create a new branch. And since I'm already inside that folder, I can create it from here. But if I'm on the code section, I can create it from here. Then I can just type. So the syntax is day one, the day number, you put a hyphen, and then you put the topic. You can put it in any way that you'll understand it, so that when Chi is also about to merge, he already knows is merging a pull request for which day, and is it correct, so that he can be able to check what task were you working on and everything. So introduction to Terraform. Then I will create the branch here. This is where I'll create the branch. So once I create the branch, then definitely I have it. I now have it, and I've done it from the browser. So I can open Visual Studio Code and show you how you can, I don't know that the one required it, but it's okay. I'm even having mine. So let me just, first of all, create a new window. This is my local, like you want to have the repo locally, right? So I'll get a new window. And then I have my Visual Studio Code here. Let me put it side by side. What was it? It was this one. So I'm having this is my repo. You can see Team Shakes, and then it is the 30-day Terraform, and I'm in the D1 branch. So I'll first of all, anytime you open Visual Studio, you must be having, if you don't have the extension, I think this extension is there by default, source control. You'll make your life easier. But if you want, you can do it from command line. You can come and do it from terminal. You can say view, terminal, then start running the processes. But let me see day one here. Don't know that we had put in the processes. Yeah, so the processes is here. So you can open the day one, add your name, but this one we change the process. Remember day one, we did not put a process where you create your own file. So we can do it even locally. So I'll do it locally. So first of all, I need to clone my repository, right? And I don't know whether I'll have to reconfigure my Visual Studio Code, because I don't want to mess up with my source control. That is, but I can still clone that repository. I can still clone it, even because it's a public repository, even though it is not mine. I'm considering Team Shakes as a different person and not me. I can still clone it. Then I can clone from GitHub. But I can even do it, instead of even doing it there, I can just come here. Let me show you the easier way. Instead of just doing it from here, from Visual Studio Code, let me just do it from where we usually do it in standard. So when you go to code, you'll see here part written code, and then you can see how you can clone. So you can see there's HTTPS, there's SSH, there's GitHub CLI. So you can maybe choose the web, you can clone using the web URL. So I can open a folder first, And then I can choose something under my learning. I create a new folder. Then I can call it TF demo. Just call it that. Then I select that folder. So it is there and it is now open. So you can see I'm having it and it is empty. So I'm trusting just the parent. So I'm having the folder and it is empty, as you can see here. So the thing is, I can now copy the URL, can go to view terminal, and then I'll confirm. You can see I'm in that folder. If I do print working directory, I can see I'm in my DTF demo. So once I have it, I can say git clone that. And you can see it has created, it is now creating the folder. It has gotten all the objects. It has downloaded it. So I can easily do that even without logging in because of what? Because it's a public repository, right? But if I want to push into it, I need to use the proper credentials for me to do that. So that is how you do it. And for every day, for example, let's me say I want to jump to day, but you should do it sequentially, right? So let's say I want to do aspects around, so it is doing it, I don't know, it's doing it a bit slowly, but it's okay. I don't know, it's quite large, but it's okay. So that is how I would do it, right? So, okay, I think I got a network. I hope my network is good. I hope I'm audible. I don't know, I got an error. So I don't know if the objects are quite large, but it's okay. So that is how you basically do it from a new account if you're doing it for the very first time. And as you can see, that is how you now clone and have it locally. I want to navigate back to my, yes, is someone wanted to unmute and ask a question?
Kevin,
Yes.
I want you to try this command.
Yeah.
Because the like I said, the repository is getting quite big. So
Yeah.
try to increase the buffer size of your HTTP.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, I'll send the command in the chat. Just put it there. Let's see if that
Okay.
solves the problem.
Okay, I've done that. Let me redo the cloning. Yes, I hope it's going to get more. Yeah, so as it does that, so it is because the one had a lot of submissions, a lot of yeah. And I think right now we also have now submissions. Like for example, when I'm cloning the whole repo, not just the day one branch or something, if I'm not wrong. So, and even if I'm doing a branch, it's still a branch of the whole repo. You know, the beauty about your branches right now, although as much as you move on through the days, your branches are getting bigger, is your D1 branch is much, so it's still 23. I think I need to make it a bit more bigger, but I think we get the point. But let me now, I wanted to navigate because you now know how to clone it. I want to show you from the one that I'm working on, right? For example, like I think Adeze mentioned something earlier that maybe juggling between the book and the course might be a challenge, but what I believe is the book gives, the video course gives you the concept around it, and it kind of really holds your hand. But the book gives you a bit of a challenge to look at. You do these, get this done. For example, if you're doing state files, and I like the way she has put it, watch these videos, you can do the hands-on along that. And then after after you've gotten an understanding of what is going on, then you can challenge yourself to do what is there in terms of the activities. So let me show you something. So I wanted to show you, okay, I don't know whether I'm synchronized. You can see I was currently doing it from day 4. Don't know, I think day 4 I'd already committed. So you can see, I can even see all the merges that have been done, the merge, and all the things that I would want to synchronize. But then again, I wouldn't want to, I think we mentioned this earlier, like where you're running your items, where you're running your Terraform, you can do anything because it's your local. But what matters is what are you uploading and what is really important. For example, you can see my source control, things that I should upload my TF state backup. Even though in my, I think you can see it is even asking me to do that, and I can even say, hey, no, please don't add my state, don't add my backup, don't add the license.txt at all, don't add my Terraform provider, doesn't make any sense to upload it, don't upload that, don't even upload my main.tf because I'm going to embed it. And I think maybe the .getignore is the one that should be there. You can see all the things that I've said to be ignored have been added there. But that one is, you can do it manually, but source control does a very good job in terms of clicking and everything. Yeah, so that is, so I want to show you something. I wanted to show you something using my own repo. So I will still do a new window. There's no challenge about this. So I can do a new window. Just close this so I don't mess it up for demonstration purposes. So then I can just zoom this a bit. Then I can go to source control. So first of all, I need to switch. So that is for the new account. I want to show you using my account, my account that has the different branches. I was just showing this for you to see how you do create the branches. So let me show you. So using my account, the one that I'm working on. So here it is coming up. So there it is. And I'm very sure my main is behind because I think I didn't, you can say I'm 118 commits behind my main. So after, like, for example, you come in here and you can see your commits are behind, the first thing I need to do, because you can see I haven't added my day 7 and my day 8. So I need to synchronize. I need to synchronize the fork, and then I can update my branch. So you can see this is my main branch. Make sure you're synchronizing with the main. Don't synchronize with any of your branches. So I'll synchronize. And you can see now I'll be told that my main is up to date with cheese repo. Then I know that I haven't done the day 7. So day 7 and day 8, because I also left it so that I can also show you something as we're also working on it. So you can see day 7 is understanding Terraform state. So I will come here. I will create my day 7. Understanding Terraform state. You can write it in a way that you can understand. Then I'll create a branch. So you can see, always remember where you're creating. Also something you note, create branch, day 7, understanding Terraform state from main. So anytime your statement should always end from main. So that you can see if I'd messed up, let me show you if I'd messed it up. If I'd messed it up is this way. Let's say I'm currently working, I'm on day 6. I've continued doing my thing. But always remember my day 6, you can even see my day 6 doesn't have a day 7 folder. So you can see I'm getting a 4 page not found. So you can see my day 6 only has folders up to day 6, right? So if I decide to come in and create a day 7, you can see that, you can see it says create branch day 7 from day 6, which is wrong. I should not create my branch of day 7 from day 6. I should create my branch for day 7 from main, because it is main that I've synchronized. So you must make sure you navigate back to the main. Let your main be the active one. And then that is where you can now create your day 7. And don't create your day 7 before you make sure that your branch is up to date with the main. That is the upstream from the challenge repo. So I'm going to create that branch. So as you can see, this is the beauty of now having the day 7. And the thing is, if you're leveraging, I told you can leverage even something like Gitpod if you want to work from any browser or any computer. So you can see, since I already have the Gitpod extension, I can open my VS Code online from using that. So it will open directly that branch, that particular branch, and also the files between that branch. And then I can do my AWS configure there, or I can maybe I can install AWS toolkit and log in, of which I think I will do that and show you how you can do it. And then, but I'll not do the Terraform part of things for the essence of time. I'll show you how I can create the file and then update it right here from Gitpod and get it back. Yes, I don't know. I've heard whether somebody has unmuted. Okay. If there's a question, feel free to. So I'll just show you how I'll create, and I'll go back as that opens up, because it is spinning up an instance. As that opens up, I'll go to day 7 and look at the tasks that were there. The very first thing I always tell someone to do is create your submission file, because sometimes you might forget when you're creating a pull request, so that even as you're working on, by the time you're coming to update, then you can be able to show that. So you can see I'm supposed to do chapter 3, all the things around state file isolation via workspaces, isolation via file layouts, and then the remote. Then what are the activities? State isolation practice both methods of state isolation. That is via workspaces and via file layout. I think that is, yes, it is here. And then successfully configure isolated environments using both workspaces and file layout methods, understand the differences and when to use each approach. You can also have a bonus hands-on, configure remote storage using S3. I saw some of us were able to do this in an or another, but we recommend you just use AWS to remain consistent. And then lock the state file to prevent conflicts and observe the behavior in a team environment. So set up remote state. These are the steps for you to achieve this goal. And then these are inspiration. We always say that these titles are inspiration for your blog post. So it doesn't mean that your blog post has to be follow these. If you want, you can just tweak it according to how you want it. Same case to the social media post. You can also tweak it, but then again, still use the same hashtags. So you can see I'm supposed to create day 7 update - Kevin Tui. So I don't know, I can see day 7. Yes, you can see it's even called state isolation, whether you called it state isolation or you called it understanding Terraform state, as long as the day 7 is there, the day 7 must be there. So I will I will see. So I'll go back to this. So you can see it is, I think, has it finished or is it not yet loaded? So it's still starting. I don't know, it's taking a bit of time, but it should have loaded. But yes, as it comes up, and even if you're not even using that, there's a way you can do it on directly. You can come here and go to the submissions folder for day 7. I can see day 7, Ephantas was already, okay, but I think we need to have a submissions folder for day 7, Chi, right? I think you haven't added it.
No, this is already the submission folder. So what you do is just add the file.
Oh yeah, I forgotten. I not even realized. Okay, I'm in the submissions folder. Yeah, so I can see there's one person. So I'll create that file. I'll come here and create that file. But then again, you don't want to start from scratch. You can get the template. I think the template must be somewhere here. Where did we put our template? I think it was, we started out on day what? That had the template, day 4.
I think,
but you'll already be having. Yeah, but then again, also,
Anyway, you just, I think
let me show you.
the template submission to every directory. Yeah,
exactly.
I think I'll be
so you can see. You can see I know I already did day 4, so I can come to my submissions and I can see my day 4 markdown. Don't use other people's templates. You can use your own so that you can be able to show that. So you can see I can get this. You can see this was how I done my submission for day 4. So I can come and just copy the raw file from here. And then when I come to day 7 under the submissions folder, so day 7, I'll come here, add a file, create a new file. You can see I'm inside the submissions folder. And then I'll have to name my file day 7 update. Then I write my GitHub username, as you should be, something. And then I'll paste the contents. But then again, since I'm already doing a different task, I'll definitely change. For example, I need to change this to HCL, not bash, as I've learned. Then I'll definitely remove the code because the code was different. Again, I remove everything here. Then if I have my new architecture, I'll also add the architecture. But then again, I think we've learned something new, which it will be great for me to do. So I can put this to the side. And then I can also just take this to the side. I've just uploaded this architecture to my S3, as Chi has already mentioned. So let me just show you. I've uploaded it so that I don't have to, we don't want to make a mess of the architecture diagram. So I've called it my bucket 2A AWS diagrams. So I have my image to my diagram. So I can confirm whether this URL opens up the document. So I'm seeing an access denied. So that means I have to update. So let me update. So I can go to here and then I can go to permissions and then I can go to edit the bucket policy as much as you've allowed, because first of all, let me just cancel that. I turned off block all public access, but that is not enough. I need to go to create a bucket policy to allow access to the files. So the beauty is you have these aspects. You have policy examples and you also have a policy generator. So I usually love using the policy generator. Then I'll open up and make sure I get my ARN if I need it. So I'll copy my bucket ARN here. So when I go to my policy generator, I'll just choose S3, bucket policy, effect is allow. I want to allow all people, S3, but I don't want to all services. I can say get object get object, here it is. And then I can put my ARN there, and then I can add the statement. Then I can now, after I add the statement, so you can see what I've done. I've just chosen S3 bucket policy. The effect is allow. Principal, you put an asterisk so that you show all. And then you choose the actions you want. Don't choose all services. You don't want to make a mess of your bucket. So you just choose the things that you want, and then you put the ARN. The ARN, I've gotten it from the edit bucket policy section here. So once I finish that, I'll generate the policy, and then I'll get the policy here. So it's a customized policy for my case. So we just do this a bit, that we see what is here. So I can just select all that and copy it so that we see it from the AWS Management Console. So I'll paste it here. So you can see policy that, statement, action is get, allow for the resource, and all the services. Then I can save those changes. So it's a JSON. So if you make a mistake and put a space there, you'll get an error. So you can see if I save our changes, you can see unknown, action does not apply. So I'll need to remove those spaces and make sure it is good. So always take note of that. So when I save changes, you can see action does not apply to any resources. Oh, yeah. So then again, the thing is you need to put a slash. When I see action does not apply to any resources, it means that I didn't put a slash and put all. So you need to put a slash, and then you put so that it applies to everything inside that bucket. That is why I've gotten this. So with experience, you'll see an error and you'll know what the issue is. So it's because I've gotten it from experience. So I'll save changes. You can see it has worked. Then when I go back now to my objects and I have this picture, and I open the object URL, it was access denied. So let me just refresh this. So you can see I'm getting it. It's now loading. So the object URL is now working. So I'll just copy this. And then instead of referencing it, so that will apply. You don't have to set the policy every time. You'll only set it once when you're creating the bucket. So now I can use the URL here so that I don't have to use then you can see if I do preview. Okay, I think I did oh yeah, I understand. Did I get into my preview? Am I not getting it in Markdown, or did I copy it somewhere else that should not have been elsewhere? That's why I don't like working on the GitHub.
Did you add the .md to this, the naming, the
finding?
Oh
yeah. Thank you. I think that makes sense. Yeah, those are the things. I would have done that and saved it on VS Code. I would not have worried about those things. But yeah, so you can see, and you can see now it is loading. So what Chichi was asking is now working, so that you don't have to mess the repository and have a lot of pictures. Pictures
we
here.
have a question from Chibuzo.
Yeah.
We have a question from Chibuzo.
Yes, Chibuzo, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
So my question is this: if we are going to be posting the images on the S3 bucket, are we going to be charged? Are we going to be charged for it? Because I believe. Sorry for interrupting. I believe that if we're creating spinning up instances on AWS, you get charged for it. So if I'm going to have an image that's going almost semi-permanently hosted for use on the MD, will you be charged for it on my AWS account? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so you can see I've just opened S3 free tier so that we see what do you have as free tier for S3. So if I come to storage here, you can see 12 types of offers. So if I go to storage, choose storage, you can see you get free 12 months free 5 GB. You can see 5 GB of standard storage, 20,000 get requests and 2,000 put requests. So you can see if 20,000, if you get 20,000 people requesting for your picture, 20,000 requests coming through, not 20,000 people, but 20,000 requests, you still get them for free. And then I don't know what they have as always free. Let me see under always free. always free, and then I go to storage. So you can see, I think storage, I think for it's still the 12 months free, and that is what you get, 5 GB of standard storage. So I don't think you'll need 5 GB to put pictures, more than 5 GB. So I think you can survive without incurring any cost on S3. Hope that answers you, Chibuzo. Yes, Benny, yes.
How about those whose free tier have maybe their accounts are more than 12 months? How do they cope?
I've never checked my charges on S3 in terms of what I'm charged, because even my accounts I think are past free tier. Let me see if I can open my billing. Where is my
Try to check the S3 service itself. Let's see how the billing for S3 works. But I think
S3.
you are not, if the charge would really be minimal. I don't really think they will. Let's check S3. Let's see how the billing.
So you can see storage pricing. So let's say it's US East 1. I think US East 1 is really this one, US East, not Virginia. .0.023 per GB. That is first 50 TB. Yeah. But I don't think you even get to terabytes.
I don't think at the moment they'll be charging you, because what you are storing, it's really small.
Very, very small. So I don't think so.
From what it shows, they are charging per GB of information stored. I believe it's mostly when you are doing data transfers out of AWS a lot, like migrations, that they really charge you for storage services when you are doing the data transfers. So, but for this,
Thank you.
For this, I think you guys are safe.
To spin off the images. All right, thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. I can see Shaik, you're unmuted. I don't know whether you have a question, but it's okay. So I think that pretty much covers how you would. So you can see, I haven't committed my changes. I've just previewed. So I had put variables.tf, but I'm sure what I'm doing on day 7 is not mastering basic infrastructure. So I need to update as much as I copied it from the other template. But then again, I think Chi has already mentioned that you're going to be having a template added every day, so that you don't have to pick from elsewhere. So here, I think it's day 7, understanding Terraform state. So I'll just check on my tasks. So understanding, and then again, don't worry, you can do as many commits as possible locally, and then the one that you want to do a pull request should be the one that is final. So understanding Terraform state, the task that you've completed, that is the one that on web layouts, those workspace and file layouts, right? Workspace, you can write it in full. I'm just writing it in short for time's sake. And then what else do we have? So the task was very clear. You can even check it out. Okay, let me just bring it up here. I can come here and open task.md, but I can still even do this. I don't know that this one opened up. I don't know why this one didn't finish opening up, but it's okay. But you can open and get the task. For example, I was supposed to make sure that I can put my state file in S3 and have protection, so that, and see how it can work in a team environment. So I'll obviously need to explain some of the things that I've been able to do. Yes, day 7 was all about this, but I should be able to mention what of the things I've done. The reason why this is important is it helps the maintainer, who is Chiche, to look at those things that you say you have completed and nothing else. You know, you might have given 10 tasks, but you only completed 7 tasks. So the task that you completed is the one that you put here, and the day that you completed it. For example, this one, I believe I'll be completing today, so I can put 24th, and then I can put the time, my local time. I can put it's around 7:36 or something. Actually, it's almost the same time. So as you can see, that is my local time currently. Then I'll put whatever is required. Did I require, for example, was I putting an architecture? If I needed to put, I would put it here. In terms of, obviously, you could have added something around, maybe you're now having S3. For example, let me show you. So let's say my architecture has something new. So let me show you. I think I had it where, okay, I think you know what happened is I downloaded it. Yes, I have it here. So you can download the desktop version of draw.io and have it set up. And have it now deal with your files locally. And then you can now add other things onto it. So I was just bringing it up. Then I get to show you. How you can now leverage. You can add more things. For example, you can see this is how my architecture currently looks. We show you under preview. So you can see this one, and I was saying there's a bucket. So I can maybe add and show my state file is inside a bucket called maybe. Now I've called my bucket 2A AWS diagrams, or I can say 2A, and then maybe I can create another one, or I can do whatever I want. Then I can show, you can say, oh, there's a demo bucket 2A or something. And then I'll show how this. So from this picture, for example, when I have these, then I have that. So I can add whatever I want. For example, if my state file is now currently, so you can see I can be able to say that there was a state file instead of the user interacting directly with the resources. I can be able to say that now there was what? There was the state file, then I've uploaded it, and the state file is deploying these resources, and it is somewhere here. So let me see. Then if I can search. I think I can just search file. So I can use that one. Okay, it's cloud services configuration file. They can choose any that would make sense. For example, I can choose that one and can put here. Then I can just add a text to it and be able to say this one is my state file. Or I can use S3 bucket with objects. S3 bucket with objects. Yes, this one. Bring it up and put it somewhere down here. Then I can do that. Then I can just put them there. And I can just have these. So that's something like that. Yeah, so I can just have something like that. And then I can be able to call the bucket the name that is required. For example, I can call it state file bucket. Just as an example. It is not clear because I'm using dark mode, so I can just go to this. And I can just put a background of green and I'll apply. So you can see that one is good enough. And I think maybe if I want, I can bold it. So you can just continue updating your diagram once you have it set up, and so that somebody can understand, oh, you're continuing to put some things into your diagram, some resources and everything. And then you can maybe even add some explanations. You can add some annotations like step 1, step 2. You can continue making your diagram as better as it should be. So if, for example, if I don't want to overwrite whatever I had, I can save as and now call it something else. I can call it maybe with state file or maybe day 7 or whatever I want to call it. So that is how you do it. And then again, I think as someone mentioned earlier, it's about you prioritizing. You can decide, you don't have to do everything at once. You can start by doing the videos just to understand the concepts. Then you take a break, come back and deploy the resources, maybe, or do the work in the book, then finish up with that. You do your commit again, obviously, if you're doing some documentation or something, then come back and now do your diagram as you complete your day, and then you now do your pull request. So yeah, I'll just put that to the side. And I think unless there's anything, I now open it up to questions. Is there anything that I have not covered that I should have covered? So I can still even commit these for now because I've done some bit of work. So you can see once I've done that, let me show you. So once I've done the update, let's say I've done this update. Obviously, I not get it as moving up because I'm getting a PNG, but you can use other diagramming tools like Cloudinary or something? Cloudinary. I think you can use this one, Cloudinary, and you can do more, whatever. But you, as you already know, as what you mentioned, is you should not be so fixated with the tools that you forget that you're learning. So it's all about you getting to learn and getting things done. And so yeah, it's just something that you can check out if you really want to bring out those motion pictures and everything. Yeah. Special thanks to, I think, Halvin, who shared with me this one. Okay, so but still draw.io is more than enough for you for your learning right now. You don't have to go overboard on it. So once you have, yes, Chibuzo, is this an older hand or a new one? Can ask your question.
Okay, so this is in your hand.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear you. Yes, can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. So my question is this GitHub app, right? So what I'm having challenges in is well, most of the work I've been doing has been on the web browser. I have a VS Code on my system, and my issue is now is connecting it to be, because it seems like this is the GitHub app for desktop that you're using right now, yes?
Nope, I'm actually using VS Code. Like what I'm having, can see, let me just show you. So if this is my GitHub, this is my VS Code, you can see it's Visual Studio. Since I have this source control, I just come here and clone the Git repository, and I connected my GitHub. So if I click clone on GitHub, it will just list for me all the repositories I have control over. For example, I can see the challenge repo, my personal repo, and I can just click on it and then start cloning whichever I want to, and any other. So you can see all my repos are here, and I can just do it from a click perspective, and everything is happening from here. Yeah. So your question? Yeah.
Okay. So so what this is you're utilizing source control than the actual terminal, right? Because that's
yes.
That's where it's confusing for me right now.
Yeah, I'm using source control.
Okay. Thank you. Let me make that change on my own system now. Thank you.
Yeah. It makes life easier. And you don't have, for example, I think the issue that I was having, you remember I've now synchronized my repo, right? So let's say I want to now clone this. You can see when from the terminal I was getting issues, but you can see I want to clone that repo so that I can do my day 7 locally. So I can just create it still under that TF. Someone to mute. So I can use this TF demo. You can see that. And I can even decide to delete this. because it didn't work. Then I can select that as the demo, TF demo to be the repository destination. Then I select it. Then it will just do these, and I'll finally get, you can see it is doing it. It is cloning it. Then I can say open it from here. Then it is now sorted. So you can see I'm getting it up to day 8. Then I can come here and work on everything. You can see, okay, I can now have my day 7. You can see the submissions that were accepted. I can now, but for my upload, I'll still use terminal. Let me just show you something. File, view, terminal. So since I need to make sure that I'm in day 7, so I'll CD to day 7. And then I need to make sure I'm under submissions. Okay, let me, yes, submissions. Sorry, submissions. So you can see I'm there. So if I do my print working directory, I can see there I am. But you can see I'm in the main branch. I don't want that. So I can git checkout to the branch that I want, and the branch should be technically the same as the one that we are having, which is which one? So I've opened so many things. Let me just close this. Let me just take this to this side. So let me show you. So let me take this to this side. Yeah, so the repo is called, the branch is called day 7 understanding Terraform state. So day 7 understanding.
Check your spelling of day 7.
Oh, yeah, sure. I could have checked it before. Thank you so much for that. Day 7 understanding Terraform state. Terraform state. I think I should do that. So that is calling it a new branch, but it's okay. So if I'm there now, I'm using that. You can see, and instead of now me doing these from the browser, I can select all that, and I can call it, okay, first of all, let me call the name of the file. And then I can come here to day 7 under submissions. I can create a new file, call it day 7 Kevin 2A update.md, open it up here. So you can see it is now here. Then I can copy this content that I was about to do it, and then paste it. I know it is incomplete for now. I'll save it. Then you can see it has now appeared. So if I can do git status, I can see there's a file that needs to be committed. Yes, this is my file. I don't have to do it here, but the beauty is there is also that procedure that you've been given on the repo, but I can still use source control. So I can just come to source control, and then I see this is the one file. I can just say added day 7 update. Day 7 update. But you can see these commits are happening not to the challenge repo, but to my local repository that to my repository that I'm now also I've cloned locally. So I'll commit. Okay, I need to stage. Okay, if you need to add, then you can.
Sorry,
yes.
1 minute, please.
Yes.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
These changes you're making now is also reflecting on your GitHub account, right?
Yes. I'm about to publish. You can see once I publish this branch, and I was about to also show you that once I publish this branch, let me show you, it's about to finish. I'll just go back to my GitHub account, and you'll see that now everything that I was doing, the files that I added, this file now will appear onto my GitHub account. So it's source control is still doing it. But then again, you can see this one, I didn't commit these changes. So I'll even cancel this one. And then you'll expect that everything that I did from my VS Code, do you see it has even appeared? This here, day 7 update 1 minute ago, and this is what I did. So it has worked from my Visual Studio Code.
Okay, thank you.
So
let me go and do that. Thank you.
Yeah, source control makes your life super easy. Yeah.
This is interesting. I am surprised after.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome. Yeah.
I have a question. I think I got lost on how you were able to clone using that source control. I don't know.
Okay, let me just show you again.
Thank you.
I can do a file new window. So this is just a new VS Code, right? I'm just creating a new VS Code here. It's just that mine has already been configured, so I cannot unconfigure it for me to configure someone's. I don't want to do unconfiguration on my VS Code, but you can use source control. I believe every VS Code comes with source control. So you come and click clone. You can see that under start, there is new file, open folder. You just come here and click clone. So if you've already connected your GitHub correctly, you'll just choose clone from GitHub, and then it will start populating. It will start populating your repositories that you've already forked, and you're having it in your account. So I don't know whether that is clear from your end.
Yeah, it's very clear. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Any other question? I think that pretty much covers what. So that is how you can do. And the beauty is you can decide now what to work. For example, here, I can even decide I can come here to day 7. I can come even to the top of the repo. Here, I can create a main.tf file. As long as I don't commit it, there's nothing, I can still continue working. I can still continue and create the variables, the outputs, the way I'm working for it, whether I'm using the video courses, whether I'm using the book, as long as when I'm about to do what? To do my updates, I'll just come here to source control and I'll say, hey, don't upload that. Don't upload that. Don't upload that. I have repeated main.tf. It's okay. Outputs.tf and add to gitignore. So you can see it has created a .gitignore file for me, and it has added those files. So you can see there was one that was called day3 main.tf. I don't know whether I had it. I'm not really sure, but I can come to day3. Do I have a main.tf here? I'm not seeing it, but it's okay. So I can decide, okay, yeah, that is done and over it. So I can even remove that because it's not really important here. I'm not seeing there's a main.tf that is going to be needed here. So you can see, then I can just, as I commit other files, so you can see if I now do git status, you remember, you can see now, I can only see the .gitignore is the one that needs to be pushed. So I can even push it, and I can just make sure I push that. I can commit that and say add .gitignore. Then I commit that. Oh, I need to save all and commit changes. So it has saved the file, and then I'm committing those changes. It has staged and commit the changes. Then I can synchronize. Don't forget to synchronize the changes so that those changes, the commit has now happened locally. So you want to synchronize those changes with your GitHub account. So you do the synchronization, and you can see if I do that and I come back here to this repo and in this particular branch, if I'm not wrong, because you can see I'm in this branch, I will be able to see these commit. Let's confirm. I think it's under day 7. You can see added day 7. Yeah, day 7. Yeah, so you can see I've had recent, but I don't want to do a compare pull request right now. So you can see that 5 minutes, day 7. I think the synchronization has it. Okay, I need to now refresh it one more time. Let's see what comes up. So you can see the day 7 update, but I don't think I'm seeing the git ignore, but it's okay. Yeah, but I think you get the point now that you can still now leverage and you can now work locally and then do your Terraform work and everything, then only add what you need. For example, your markdown and everything. And after that, you can see now you can do your compare and pull request. But I don't want to do that because I have not completed doing my day 7. I have not even done I've not even updated it with the diagram as it should be and everything that is required, but it is already here. It is already, oh, am I on my own account? Oh, I'm in main. That was the reason why I was wondering I'm not seeing it. I need to go to day 7. I was wondering why am I not seeing the change. The change is in day 7 branch. I was wondering why. And you can see I can see my file. And if I go to the repo itself, I can go to the repo and I go to, and you can see, I can see the day 7 update. Yeah, I can see all that and I can see the DS or something of that sort. So yeah, can be able to see what is happening and what is happening on day 7 where I'm working on files. Yeah, so I think that will help a lot when you're able to work locally on your VS Code and do what is required. And then again, leverage the AWS toolkit. It's just an extension. You can just come here and search AWS toolkit. And you can see I have Amazon Q, but I also can search AWS toolkit. It will help you work easily. So here it is, AWS toolkit. So after that, you can now put your profiles, you can put whatever you want. And then it can also help you with AWS CLI and all the different things that you need to do. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it, Chi, because I want to also leave so that I prepare for my session, my Japan session.
Yeah, I think you've done a good job. To cover everything. Yeah, I don't know if anyone still have a question that needs to be addressed. If anyone does,
so you'll allow me to leave. You'll allow me to leave, and then you'll okay.
I think we are almost 2 minutes to the end of the time, so
yeah,
but we had to end at 6. Yeah. So is there any question we can address in 2 minutes? I don't think so. So if there's a need for a session tomorrow, we are going to inform you guys. If there's a need, we see that you guys still need help tomorrow, we are going to try to do a session tomorrow. But so far, I think we are good. Any other question, please, you can drop it on the GitHub discussion, and we'll try to get to those questions. And I'm like, sometimes we might drop questions and we don't get to them early, is because we also have for our other engagements that we need to we are doing. So sometimes we might not be quick to respond them, but if you have a question, always drop it there. Any other person taking this challenge can respond to the question and help you out. And if you look at, I think it's day 7, is it day 6? Or there's a part that talks about that you need to upload your state file on S3, unlock it, and see how you guys can collaborate. You can reach out to any other team member, any other person taking the challenge, so you guys can try to share, see how you can work from with their own TF, their own state file, and see how they can work on your own state file, so you understand how it really functions when multiple people are working on the same Terraform infrastructure. So that one can help you guys really understand that part. I was hoping we could go through a single Terraform task together. So Benny, which task do you want us to go through? Day 5. Okay. we'll look at that. We can do that tomorrow. We can see if we can go through a task tomorrow. We'll look at that later. But there's another meeting starting at the 6 p.m. Cameroon time. I think Kevin, if you have the link, if Kevin is here, you can share the link here. And those that want to join us there, it's you can join us. It's an AWS event. So if you want to join us, you can join us. But tomorrow, we'll definitely announce in the group if we are having this work. If we are working tomorrow on task 5 together, we'll announce in the group and see how all of us can share our screens and work on it. So anyway, thank you guys for joining, and hoping to see you all tomorrow. Okay, have a nice evening, everyone.